Hi everyone, my name is Natalia Sotelo and I'm a visual artist from Mexico City and Seattle. And today I want to tell you the story of the biggest project I've worked on so far. But first, let's rewind in time. This mural is commissioned by the Rainier Valley Food Bank in Seattle, Washington, and it's an artist collaboration between another amazing mural artist, painter, educator, activist, among many other things, named Scott Mexcal, and I, also a mural painter, multidisciplinary visual artist, traveler, educator, Natalia Sotelo. We have worked together in the past and decided to apply to the Call to Art as an artist team. Once we were part of the finalists, we created an art activation to receive input from the community as to what they would like to see in the mural. This was an integral part of our process since, as socially engaged artists, we wanted our work to reflect the soul and spirit of the people who frequented the most. We created 3 different versions of the mural design and finally pitched our vision to the staff there, thus resulting in the biggest project of our lives so far. There was a lot that went into the design process, and I could show and expand on our 3 different designs, although I think it might potentially have to be for another video. Anywho, it's a 2.5-story building. Well, technically it's only 2 stories, but they have a grocery store / warehouse, so the ceilings are pretty tall. And the most complicated thing about this mural is that we had a December 1st deadline, meaning that we would be painting in the thick of the rain in Seattle, tackling a big outdoor mural in the middle of November, aka the dead of fall and winter. But it was something we couldn't refuse to do for many reasons. It was a great opportunity, and it's a mural for the main food bank in South Seattle, which does vital work for the community by not only providing nourishment, but for being a place of gathering, hope, and connection. So my goal for this video is to walk you through the process of creating this mural from scratch. From our initial thoughts and ideas, to how we transferred it, to the challenges and lessons we learned along the way, to the final result. I hope that you can learn from our process and maybe even get inspired through our journey. To start, I want to talk about how we chose those colors. The base of the whole mural is this color called knockout orange. And when creating a mural, I think it's important to take the space around it into consideration. A mural is a very site-specific artwork, so I think that looking around all the elements that you see is the best way to create a mural. So for this one, the building adjacent to it is this navy blue color, and what is the complement of blue? Orange. So that's how we picked the orange. The other most prominent color in the mural is this teal, like light blue teal color. They just look good with orange. And a little cool fact that we found out while we were making the mural is that once we were painting, like we already had our paint spot, like we had everything. When we were painting, we realized that a lot of the accent colors to the benches or the like posts around the building already were the colors of our mural, like these teal, like this darker teal, but then also like that was the tables and benches, and then the orange, like the bike racks, were like literally almost exactly the same orange. So that's clear that the architects and the people constructing the building were also thinking about these things, and we were in sync. So it was just meant to be. So it was really fun, and it really confirmed our color palette. Now for the design itself, we were inspired on a tree of life, specifically the Mexican version of the tree of life, which is un árbol de la vida. And this is a clay sculpture that is very like traditional in Mexico, and it's very elaborate, ornate, and very colorful, and it has these like geometric tree branches that kind of go out. So that's what we got inspired on, but also the tree of life is a very universal concept. Like a lot of different cultures also incorporate it into their lives, and it's just a symbol of life, growth, abundance, connection, and these were all things that the food bank brings to this community. So that's why we chose the tree of life, because we thought it would be the perfect emblem or symbol to portray in this space. Now let's cut back to the process. So it took us about 4 to 5 days to paint the whole building orange, but since not every day was a nice day with no rain, it kind of took us around like 10 days or so over the course of 10 days. Scott and I certainly didn't do this alone, and we hired some amazing local artists to help us with this wall, and I'll be introducing them as they come about in the video. So if you're wondering who those are, that's who those are. So yeah.
All the leaves.
I just arrived to the site. It's really early in the morning, for me at least. But look at the sunset. I mean sunrise. See, I can't think. Today, I don't know what day it is. Maybe like fifth day of painting. I can't remember. But we organized to get here early because today we're going to be tracing. I've never used this before, but we're going to be using virtual reality to trace. Scott has a virtual reality set. Usually I've projected before, so we'll see how this goes. He set it all up and prepared it, which was super nice. So yeah, I'm excited. Oh my god, look at this sunrise. So pretty. And it's reflecting on our orange wall. I gotta start off the lift. Oh dang. What the hell? Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh, thank God. Scott's over there with the headset.
Go up a little bit. Go ahead and stop there.
Since we arrived pretty early this morning to trace, we noticed that the wall was fully covered in dew, which was a problem because if we began tracing, the paint pen marks would just drip down the wall. So we spent the next hour or so just wiping off the entire surface of the wall. Thankfully it did work. It sped up the drying process and we were finally able to start tracing. In order to trace the mural, we used virtual reality, which is a scaling method that's slowly coming up around mural artists. Another transfer tool that's commonly used is projecting your design. You can also use the doodle grid or regular grid methods. All of these have their pros and cons. You just have to evaluate what works for each project. And let me know if you want a more in-depth explanation for these in another video. But for now, for this wall, Scott suggested we use the headset. I had never used it before, so I figured why not? And if you're wondering, this is what it looks like inside of the headset. It's pretty cool. It just overlays the design and it still lets you see your hands and everything, so then you can be able to trace. I thought that this technique was super useful for this project. Scott did most of the outlining while I drove the lift, and it made the process really effective. The pros to this are that you can do it during the day, overcast is ideal. However, only one person can trace at once. Also, I will say that you don't want to fully rely on it, as technology can also make mistakes. And since our design was pretty symmetrical, we had a little issue where the VR projected the right side of the mural like 5 inches off. It wasn't the end of the world, but Scott did end up having to retrace that whole portion of the wall again. So for this next phase of the mural, we had a little bit of a dilemma. The tree trunk of the Tree of Life had this 3D sort of effect, and when designing, it's really easy to add this effect on, but when you're scaling to a massive wall, that's when things get tricky. Our options were to create this effect with spray paint and possibly hire a spray paint artist to come help us to fast track and execute this process, or adapt the shading technique and do it with bucket paint. With the first option, we would have to wait for the spray paint artist to finish to be able to start adding all the elements on top of it. That would take a few extra days that we didn't have, since we only had a few select days of good weather to work with anyway. Also, we're not really spray paint artists, so it would take a bit of learning while doing, and that's time that we just didn't want to spend doing that in case they were any mistakes that we had to correct. Also, maybe you think, why couldn't multiple people start spray painting and doing this? Well, perhaps, but the issue is that when you start adding more people into the equation, the more likely there are certain imperfections, or it just doesn't look as neat and equal and homogeneous as possible.
And then we kind of like all got to match, you know?
Yeah.
Go with this and see if I can do it like the way I would do it with charcoal or something.
Shoot, yeah, I should have gone the white.
Can I see your cap real quick?
Yes, I was doing this one.
It's funny how sometimes it just like doesn't want to build up in certain spots.
So we ended up problem solving and adapting the design to be with bucket paint by using shadow, midtone, and highlight tree trunk colors. And this way we could also have our helpers assist in painting the tree trunk, since with bucket paint it's a bit easier to have the same ending effect and quality to it. And now finally to a painting montage section. The day we painted above the awning, it was the food bank's first grocery shopping day. The food bank just opened to the public, and this mural was one of the last finishing touches of the building. It was a Friday, and the sun woke up on a good mood that day, so time couldn't be wasted. We usually try to make our main paint days during the weekend. It was days that Scott and I were both free, and the food bank was closed, so we wouldn't be in anyone's way. However, even though they were open this Friday, we could paint above the awning and still be tucked away painting. I also want to take this time to start explaining a little bit about the meaning of the elements we chose in the mural, as this section has a lot of relevant symbols. To start off, the hand in the center with a heart comes directly from one of the answers the community responded during our art activation day. It answered the question, what community values would we like our mural to communicate? Someone answered, hands and heart equal togetherness, so we included a hand and a heart. Next is this tile portraying some tiny houses. This is because behind the food bank there's a tiny house village, which is an affordable housing program in Seattle, and we later found out that before the main building opened, the staff worked out of those houses for a little bit, a period of transition before they moved into the building, so it also held a personal connection to the food bank's history. Then we have the corn. It's a staple ingredient in so many different households, and so much of our food is made out of it today. Throughout the mural you can also see other foods. The apples, plum, and fig are produce that comes out of Washington State, where we're located, so they made it onto the mural. And finally, for now, the flowers. You can see magnolia, lotus, and plumeria flowers. There is actually a magnolia tree right outside the food bank, but since it's not spring, you can't see its flowers just yet. These represent perseverance, strength, and beauty. The plumeria flowers represent new beginnings, welcome, love, and peace, and are associated with the Hawaiian culture, but are also characteristic of many Asian countries like India and Thailand. Lastly, the lotus flower is also representative of many Asian countries and are a spiritual flower that represents the ability to rise above the mud and difficult circumstances to flower and bloom. It's a symbol for growth and transformation. Hi everyone, let me do another voiceover update, but I'm on my way to the mural. It's super dewy and foggy because I think it rained and it was just really cold last night. So luckily we have another sunny day. Like, we've been trying to work in between the weather, and it's been kind of like overwhelming and a bit stressful to try to like plan around something you can't control. But okay, pause. This is editing that, and I wanted to say that it's funny because now that I'm editing this, it looks super sunny and like beautiful every day that we've been painting. But I just wanted to show you some of the screenshots that we were taking during like the making of this mural, and Scott had like 3 weather apps on his phone to track everything and see like the most accurate one. So just PSA, it all looks sunny and nice because those are the days that we were choosing. But I'm really thankful that we got what we got, because otherwise maybe we couldn't have pulled it off. But obviously, clearly we did. So just I wanted to take a pause to explain that. Luckily, today and tomorrow and yesterday is gonna be dry, and it's the weekend, so it's perfect because we can put in all the hours that we need and just make it as pretty and as advanced as much as possible. Our goal is to do like the very top half like of the mural. Like, if we are able to finish that by this weekend, we're on a really good track for next week and finishing. We got lots to do, so let's go. I don't even grab this. Driving the lift. All right.
Sorry.
No, that was awesome. I love it. The following 5 days felt like some kind of fever dream. It was probably my favorite part of this whole process. The rain graced us with its absence for around 5 days in a row. 5 days in which we dropped everything else and dedicated a large amount of time to painting. It would be wake up, get ready, go paint all day, clean up, sleep, repeat. The break in the weather allowed us to be on track to finishing on time, and we got the largest chunk of the mural done. I think if we hadn't had this, we probably would have felt a little bit nervous about its completion. It's the days that I spent the most on the lift. Juliana, another artist who helped us a ton, and I would perch up there and come down just for the bathroom or paint refills. When you'd go to sleep, you could feel your body still rocking from the lift. Kind of like when you're on a boat and you still feel the movement of the waves even after you're no longer on the water. Like that, but because of the lift.
Oh my god! Oh, okay, perfect. Wait,
Yeah.
a paint stick is as thick as the paint stick is as thick as the. Well
Yeah.
then these are fine.
Alright everyone, I'm out here alone just because it's Monday and then everyone else is working, and then also it was going to be raining and it did rain, but now it's not raining, so then I was able to come out here. So come and sit up with me. So I'm going to be rolling out the ramp board, doing the lift, and a couple other things. So yeah. Today, since I'll be mostly working on myself, it's just I'm gonna focus on this one, that one, and then the inside of the fig, kind of like, oh, and some of the details right here. So a couple of the other like outlines and stuff. But overall, yeah, I hope to get a good amount done. At least that, if I can. Yeah, that's my goal. So, yeah. Right by the figs. So it's time to draw on top of here. Ah, it's so shaky. The camera is shaky, but I'm gonna draw like kids jumping on the rope. I'm nervous, although I can trace it with chalk, but still. So I want to explain the meaning behind some of these tiles, which rest on the Tree of Life's branches. This specific one depicts 3 kids playing and jumping rope, an image that references when the food bank had just opened and the Seattle Times published an article about it. The cover image showed kids and teenagers jumping rope in front of the food bank. This commemorates that moment and represents how the food bank is also a place of joy, play, gathering, and spending time with each other. Another tile that you'll see later on depicts a man holding a boombox or radio. This honors a valued member and volunteer of the food bank who recently passed away. He was known for having a radio on him and for playing music to cheer everyone up. One of the last tiles shows a person playing the flute. This references someone who always comes to the food bank and plays his flute for the people in line. He comes and creates a more cheerful atmosphere, making it a memorable place to be. You'll be able to hear his flute a little later in the video. For this mural, Scott and I wanted to include special moments from the food bank's community, a design that honors people who have made it what it is, and art that makes people know that they belong. Looks exactly the same. Got it. That's the mural. On a mural. Another component of this mural was a community paint day. The food bank requested this lovely event, which was a way to include the community not only in the design and concept, but also in the execution of the mural itself. I didn't record much of this event, since I didn't get permission from all the participants to appear in the video, but I'll tell you that it turned out to be a lovely sunny Tuesday, and people going into the food bank, friends and family, staff, and people who heard about it showed up. We painted the bottom section of the mural, which we had been leaving blank for this reason. After this, we were on our final stretch towards completion. So today we need to finish all of this whole section right here. The salmon, their little diamonds around the inside of the tree structure, fixing some of this, and then a lot of touch-ups. Empezó a llover. It's soaked. Today, it started to rain on us. We had seen there was a chance for rain, but hoped it wouldn't actually happen. And it did. Fortunately, though, it was short-lived as it rained in little bursts, so we could work in between them. We rushed to cover our supplies with plastic so they would remain dry and took a break. Soon after, we were able to get back to work. And you might be wondering, can we paint under the rain? How bad can it be? Well, I wouldn't recommend painting under the rain because what happens is that the new fresh paint you apply starts to smudge and run. You can see little droplets of rain in the paint when you apply a new coat. Although since we knew rain would be an issue during this project, we selected a paint that dries a little bit faster and can withstand a little bit more wet weather conditions compared to regular paint. This doesn't mean you can't paint under the rain though. It just means that the paint you already applied that day doesn't drip and smudge when it starts to rain, which was a big concern for us with this mural. We were worried that imagine we'd have a whole paint day and then the next day we come back and the floor is covered with orange and blues, and yeah, that would be a disaster. So that's why we selected the special paint called Latitude from Sherwin-Williams. I'd say it was solid for our project. But I'll also say that it runs a little bit transparent, so we felt like it needed more coats and more work than usual paint. But hey, it saved us when we needed it, so I can't complain. Guys, look at it. I'm walking on the other side of the street. Everything's gray, but look at this. The mural is peeking out. From here it looks kind of small, but definitely not small. Wow. I hadn't come to look at it from across the street. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so bright and colorful. Me encanta. Me encanta. Qué muy bonito. I love it. So here's another update. It's getting dark already. And it was a little rainy and everything, but I think Scott brought one of like some big chunky lights that we can hook up onto the lift, and then it'll allow us to paint into the night a little bit since it'll be raining for like days straight after this. Yeah, I think it'd just be a good idea to get a bit more painting done than we want. Here it is. Here she is. So yeah, today we'll be painting into the night. Let's see how that goes. Guys, I think this is might be one of the last days of the mural. I'm up here. It's a beautiful day today. One of the last touch-ups needed before applying anti-graffiti coating was for me to add my energy lines. If you know me as an artist, you'll know that it's one of the elements I add often to my work, and it's become a bit of a signature element of mine. It's 3 dashed lines that I pull across murals or artwork to guide the viewer's eye through the piece. It represents a flow of energy, a current that guides you through a story and ties all the other elements together. I call them energy lines. In this mural specifically, it flows out of the central basket and weaves its way through the apples, hummingbirds, flowers, and everything in between. Here, it represents a flow of abundance, of connection, growth, and channeling our energy into the right direction. Alright guys, I'm filming. It's one of the last days. At the mural. And we're doing the energy lines, my typical energy lines. However, we've run out of this nacho cheese. Nacho cheese food, okay, nacho cheese. Because it looks like nacho cheese coming in. And there's 2 different yellows, so that's how we distinguish them. I've also been using this zebra brush for really long, these energy lines, which require really long strokes. And, hi! Oh my god. Okay, as I was saying, we've been using these zebra brushes. It's all covered up right now, but this one specifically has been super nice because of these lines. They kind of just have to be long and smooth, so this one's the perfect one. Also, we've been using the oval one a lot for frames and the fills, and it just holds so much paint, and it just allows you to not have to dip so much back in and keep going and make the process faster. And they're just super easy to handle, so I totally recommend. I'm going to do some close-ups of this, but I also don't have a lot of paint, so we'll see. And finally, the last step, which is to anti-graffiti coat the whole mural. I didn't film as much of this process, so I'll keep the explanation a bit short. We apply an anti-graffiti coat as a way of protecting the mural, and so it lasts for years to come. And if for whatever reason someone ends up graffitiing the wall, you can use a pressure washer and it'll come right off. It's a nerve-wracking step since if anything goes wrong, it could potentially ruin the whole mural. We've had cases where it created a filmy, cloudy layer above the artwork, which dulled the entire piece. So it's important to test out your coating and make sure it's the right fit for your project. As you can see, it's a transparent layer, and once it's dry, it feels like rubber. It's toxic to apply, so make sure to use gloves and clothes that you don't mind ruining. Scott also covered all the equipment with tape to protect it, and this worked really well. And although it's a bit of a painful process, I think this one gave more vibrancy to the artwork, kind of like varnishing an oil paint at the end, where it deepens the color and makes it pop. And with that, the mural is complete. Yay! And before we end the video, I want to show some amazing shots of the wall in a fun little montage taken by the photographer Jordan Summers, so don't leave just yet. Also, if you've enjoyed watching until here, first of all, thank you, and second of all, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. I'm just starting off my channel, so if you would like to see more content like this, don't forget to tag along. Now, without further ado, we present to you The Gathering Tree of Life by Scott Mexcal and Natalia Nicte Sotelo, in partnership with the Rainier Valley Food Bank in Seattle, Washington. We want to thank you with your trust in this project, and I hope it's everything you envision for this community.